British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak visited Ukraine's capital on Friday. He signed a new security agreement and announced an increase in military funding for Ukraine to buy drones, including surveillance, long-range strike, and sea drones. Today is the day the history of Europe has changed. Ukraine and the United Kingdom signed a new and unprecedented security agreement. This is not just a declaration. This is the reality that will happen due to our cooperation, and in particular, due to the security guarantees from the considerable world power, Great Britain. If such a level of security guarantees was reached after 1991 with Britain and other countries, then there would be no Russian aggression. Our common task after stopping this Russian aggression and strengthening Ukraine is to guarantee that there will be no repeated attack on Ukraine ever again. Great Britain, one of Ukraine's closest allies throughout its conflict with neighboring Russia, will increase its support in the next financial year to £2.5 billion, or $3.19 billion, an increase of £200 million on the previous 2 years.
And I'm proud that today President Zelensky and I have signed a new security agreement that will form the core of a partnership between our two countries that will last 100 years or more. This is the first in a series of new bilateral security assurances promised to Ukraine by 30 countries at last year's Vilnius summit. And it says that if Russia ever invades Ukraine again, the UK will come to your aid with swift and sustained security assurance. We will provide the modern equipment across land, sea and sky, sanction Russia's economy, and work closely with allies to do so. You will not have to ask. You will not have to argue for what you need. The UK will be there from the first moment to the last.
Sunak's trip comes at an important juncture for Kyiv in its nearly 2-year-old war, as political infighting in the United States and European Union has held up 2 major packages of assistance. Kyiv has relied heavily on military and financial aid from the West since the Russian invasion in February of 2022. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told a press conference that he believed vital U.S. financial assistance would materialize and that he felt more positive now than last month. The two leaders signed what Zelensky described as an unprecedented security agreement, an arrangement the Ukrainian leader said would remain in place until Kyiv joined the NATO military alliance. The UK-Ukraine Agreement on Security Cooperation follows an earlier agreement by the Group of 7 nations to provide Ukraine with bilateral security guarantees. Britain said it would provide the largest delivery of drones to Ukraine from any nation, with most of them expected to be manufactured in Great Britain. They came from all over the country, disregarding the cold, snow, or day of the week. The goal was one, to show the new government that Poles are not indifferent. Today we showed the strength of the nation, the strength of sovereignty, that indeed Donald Tusk must consider us. It cannot be this way that they will come in and unlawfully break everything possible. I'm not a member of Law and Justice. I'm not a member of any party. And I'm only here because I'm frightened by this reality that Donald Tusk is building for us here, because I'm frightened that it can also affect my life. I don't understand this argument at all, this explanation that they're doing things a little bit illegally, because the president won't sign. And have they proposed anything to the president? Today I am experiencing martial law for the second time, December 13th. Also, Mr. Tusk, we will not forget this. We want to be free. We want to have our own voice. I have already protested against Tusk in 2008. This man will not change. He is the authoritarian type. He will not change. He is changing, if anything, for the worse. Participants in the protests were not stopped by the barriers or thousands of police officers who are pulled from all over the country. There must be consent, because this is not your barrier. But for 8 years, there was always something hanging here. Why can't we now? I don't know. That's the order we have. The Speaker of the Parliament just 2 months ago promised that the barriers would not return in front of the Parliament, that the Parliament would not be a fortress. They are back. And what hurts me the most is how the Constitution, which so many people have chanted, wore on their shirts even, is being violated, and now they're just breaking it. Do you feel disappointed? I feel very disappointed. I think a lot of young people feel let down at this point because they voted for the third way, and it turned out that there is no third way. It is estimated that about 300,000 people took part in the Free Poles protest. Wiejska Street and the area in front of the Polish Sejm was filled to capacity, as was the avenue where the Prime Minister's office is located. I must thank each and every one of you who came here today on this unpleasant winter day, a weekday at that. There is a very, very large number of us here, but if we were to gather here on a beautiful day in the spring or summertime, one could say that there would be twice as many or maybe 3 times as many of us. We will not allow the voice of more than 10 million Poles to be ignored. Is it being ignored? Let's talk to the politicians of the ruling party. Do such protests force you to reflect that there is indeed something wrong, that certain actions may be controversial or illegal? Every action raises controversy. As a school principal, I have made many decisions every day that raise controversy. However, the forcible removal of MPs by police from the presidential palace in the absence of the head of state has little to do with democracy. I think we're dealing with a regime of sorts. We're encountering the kind of Eastern treatment of people as seen in such pure regime countries like North Korea or Russia. Where has the constitution gone that the current rulers invoked so often in the campaign? I think it was simply a lie. It seems to me that in general, everyone spoke very beautifully just before the elections, because they wanted to evoke in all the people who were going to the elections that it would be wonderful, great, and we would be happy. And here it turned out, after the elections, to be quite the opposite. Poles also disagree with the government's forcible takeover of public media. I want to have my own opinion. I want to have my own journalists. I want to have a choice. I want to watch my own media. They want to take away that choice? Of course they do. They have already taken away that choice. Thousands expressed support for TV Republika. We ask Poles to support TV Republika so that there's a right-wing media in Poland and not what is happening now. We came from Sieradz and we support TV Republika. We only watch TV Republika. Bravo. Let's shed light on reality, because we can't let our homeland die in darkness. Information monopoly is darkness. This monopoly is being broken by our station, which overnight became the second most watched news station in the country. Adrian Borecki, TV Republika. Australian-born Mary Donaldson is set to become Denmark's queen on Sunday, January 14th, when her husband, Crown Prince Frederik, ascends the throne. Crown Princess Mary, 51, who married Crown Prince Frederik in 2004, has worked in her royal role as patron to a number of organizations promoting issues close to her heart, including children and women's rights, as well as fashion sustainability.
She really takes on projects that she believes on, and because she really believes in those causes and she deeply cares about them, then they come across to the people as unique. Because they are not just representative things or roles that she has to take on. She then study what can be done better and more.
She will do really well. She is a skilled girl and a good wife to our current crown prince, who will be king in a few days. They will make a great couple, I'm sure of that. I also think she's doing a really good job. She's very skilled, eloquent, and a good representative as queen. So we are also very proud of her.
Crown Princess Mary, she is very popular for various reasons. She is interested in fashion, and she is also interested in social issues and care for children and women. and she has done a lot of work to improve this group's interests in the whole world, not only in Denmark. So she's also very international oriented for a Danish royal person.
On New Year's Eve, Queen Margrethe made a surprise announcement that she would abdicate after 52 years on the throne, leaving the crown to her eldest son, Frederick. Crown Princess Mary from the island state of Tasmania met Crown Prince Frederick in Sydney during the 2000 Summer Olympics. In Denmark, formal power resides with the elected parliament and its government. The monarch is expected to stay above partisan politics, representing the nation with traditional duties ranging from state visits to National Day celebrations.